Hello everyone, my name is Kun. I worked at Meta, Microsoft, and Atlassian as an L8 principal engineer, and a few weeks ago, I made a video about my agentic engineering workflow, which got 600,000 views. And one of the most popular asks from the video was to make another video about me using my agentic engineering workflow to build a real project from scratch. And that's what we will be doing today. Let's dive in. All right, let's begin. I'm starting from an empty terminal here, and I already have my tools and environment set up, but I haven't created any project files yet. So I'm gonna start with that. The first thing I'm gonna do is to launch Herdr. Herdr is kind of like my new Tmux. It's my replacement for Tmux. It's just better. It manages my agent sessions for me, and you will see later why that gives me a really good experience. And this is an empty session. I just started. So the next thing I'm gonna do is to set up Firstmate. Firstmate, if you haven't heard of it yet, it's an open source project that I created, which gained some popularity, which is nice. It's a new way of working that allows me, the captain, to talk to only one agent, which is the Firstmate. And the Firstmate will juggle everything for me, which really reduces the cognitive load that I have and the burden of context switch. So it makes me, my life a lot easier. The way to set this up is really easy. So I just come here and clone the repo. I'll just come here and do a git clone and get this Firstmate repo cloned. And I'm gonna just go into the Firstmate repo and launch my agent in here. That's how you use Firstmate. And today I'm gonna use the Pi agent because I wanna use the GPT model, and Pi is my favorite harness for running any model that is not Claude. So I will launch Pi. And you can see here, my current model is GPT 5.6 Sol on X High. And I do use this model a lot, but today I actually want to give myself a challenge and make this a little bit more fun and uncertain. So I'm gonna use Luna instead. The reason is that I think a lot of the time we try to use the best model possible for everything because that's just going to be able to give us the better results, right? But actually, I want to demonstrate that you don't really need the best model for everything. You actually can get a lot out of these more efficient models. I hope Luna doesn't backfire on me. So the first thing I will do with Firstmate is to probably lay down the ground rule here that I just want to use Luna. So I'll do a few things. Hey Firstmate, let's set up a new project here, a new repo called Eddie's Wallet. And it's gonna be just a local repo for now. Probably put a dummy README file in it and make a commit just to get it started. And I want to lay down some ground rule here that today, every task, every crewmate will be dispatched to a Pi agent running GPT 5.6 Luna on X high reasoning level. So yeah, get that set up as well. All right, just give this prompt to Luna and let Luna start doing its work. So yeah, it's running a session start script. This is how Firstmate works. Firstmate has a bunch of scripts to handle the deterministic aspect of running this whole Firstmate thing. And it will call some skills, it will do some of the scripts. What I typically actually do is to ignore all this noise because Firstmate is just calling the tools, calling the scripts it needs, calling the skills to do its work, right? I don't really need to look at which tools it called and etc. etc. That's not super useful for me. So I actually have this calm mode. This is something that comes with Firstmate, and it's only possible for the Pi agent. It's not available for other agent harnesses yet. In the Pi agent, Firstmate comes with this calm mode. And if I turn this on, then all those noise disappears. The only thing that's gonna show in the terminal is my prompt and Firstmate's response. So I don't really need to look at all the tool calls and everything, which makes the experience really clean. And that is how I want to work with Firstmate typically. I think with less intelligent models that we had maybe like a year ago, 2 years ago, it's really useful to look at what the agent is doing, which tools it's calling, which files it's reading, etc., because sometimes it will make mistakes, right? It will go down a wrong path. And if we can look at what it's doing, we can steer it. We can actually ask it to say, hey, stop, that's the wrong thing to do. But with today's models, it's actually more and more rare that I need to steer the agent that way. So I just find it less useful now to look at the tool calls and everything. So I did this calm mode to just help me ignore all those noise. So now, yeah, Firstmate said Captain Eddie's wallet is set up. Okay. It's locally in here, and readme is there. Is the initial commit. Okay. Crew dispatch. Okay, so it's basically done what I asked, which is good. Now, I'm gonna talk to Firstmate about this project, what I really want to build, right? So I'll just tell Firstmate the same time I tell you guys. Hey, Firstmate, now this Eddie's Wallet project is an app that my son Eddie told me to build for him. It's an app for children to manage their allowances. So right now, we sometimes write this down in a notebook. Sometimes we just try to remember it, but it's really hard to manage once we have like a bunch of things, a bunch of rules for how he gets allowance and how he spends it. So I want to use this app as a tracker for Eddie to manage his balance. I also want to actually take this as an opportunity, have this app have some educational value to teach Eddie about the basic financial concepts like balance, loans, and how credit cards work, right? How he makes payment back for a loan, things like that, and interest for the money he's saving in the account. So I think we should try to have this app introduce kids to these concepts gradually in a natural way, in a way that they can understand. So this app is probably iOS only for now because Eddie uses an iPad most of the time. And I want this app to have a parent mode and a child mode. So in the parent mode, I can deposit and I can manage withdrawal. In child mode, that's what Eddie uses. And Eddie can use the child mode to look around and see how much balance he has. Is he taking a loan, etc., etc. It's basically a read-only mode. So that's probably like the high-level requirements. I haven't thought through all the details yet, but there's a few things I want to do. First, I want to do a market research to see whether such an app already exists. Because if it already exists, that does exactly what I described, then I'll just install the app for him. If it doesn't exist, then that's a unique gap that we can build an app to fill. But pay attention that I want to make sure the money in this app is virtual, it's not real money, right? It's just a virtual wallet tracking these numbers. The other thing I want to make sure is like the data is portable and stored in the cloud, because I may want to use my phone to manage the deposit and withdrawal, not on the same device as Eddie's iPad. And Eddie sometimes may switch devices, and the data should be visible on all the devices he uses. He has a Mac and has an iPad. For now, we just worry about iOS, but knowing that he has multiple devices, I think we have to persist the data in the cloud. What else? I think that's it. That's for the market research. We want to make sure such an app doesn't already exist. The other thing I want to do in parallel is to look into the technical aspect of this. How would we approach building this full stack end to end, right? So those are the two things I want you to kick off in parallel. Okay, so you can see that was a long rambling, right? It was a long rambling of the requirements and my idea, my thinking, what I was trying to get done. 3,000 characters is a lot. So this is typically how I kick off a new project. I just ramble. I try to explain everything I have in mind to Firstmate and let the agent figure things out. There's a lot of context, a lot of requirements, a lot of ideas I mentioned in there. It will try to rationalize that. And Firstmate here should respond to what I asked. I asked for two things in parallel. One is the market research, and the other is the technical planning, right? So I think very soon Firstmate will probably like kick those things off. So let's see. So it's not showing me any of the tool calls, which is nice. I don't really need to look at that. What I can see here is the token count to know it's actually doing, it's not stuck or anything. So we can see like the token counter has been moving. The context window is already at 24% of the 272K. This is the default cap for GPT models right now. I think there was a bug OpenAI reported a while ago that if your context, if you send a request that has a higher context size than this, then the request will be charged higher than usual. So that's a reason why a lot of people are saying, oh, Codex is draining my quota very quickly. So I capped this at 272K to be the safe cap for how large a request can be. Okay, so here Firstmate said, Captain, both scouts are underway. So here we can see, actually Firstmate already spun up two tabs here. The first tab is a market research, and the second tab is a technical research. Right, so this is how Firstmate works. Firstmate does not try to do everything by itself, because if it does so, it will get stuck and it will get too busy, right? It will do, it can only do one thing at a time. It will get stuck handling all those things. By delegating these tasks to these crewmates, Firstmate can get a lot of things done in parallel. So now we have a market research, we have a technical research, both being run in parallel by two different agents. And we can validate these agents are also running GPT 5.6 Luna on XHigh as we asked. So this is what we ask for this Firstmate, and something I maybe interesting to show you is my quota. So I have this baby menu widget here that shows tracks my quota. I have my Claude quota here, and I have my Codex quota here. I have Kimi subscription as well, and I already used up my Grok quota. So I can see all the quota here, and it's really nice. Today we got a reset from Thibaut, which is really good. Thibaut here has been giving us resets all the time, and that's why I still have so much quota left for Codex. So this is basically how I track my subscription quota across these different plans. Yeah, it's still working. We can probably just wait until it comes back to us. Actually, one thing that will be cool is to turn on the fast mode. So I have this Codex fast extension in Pi that allows me to control whether I want the fast mode. So I'll just do Codex fast on. This will turn on fast mode, and request from now on from this session should become faster. I actually don't know whether this affects the other sessions or not. Let's take a look. If I run Codex fast here. It says it's on already. Okay, so turning on the Codex fast mode in this extension actually affects all the sessions, which is nice. So that's what I want. So this should make us get the results a little bit faster, but it will cost us more. So the fast mode here is actually spending more to get a lower latency. So typically I don't turn on this fast mode because GPT models are already pretty fast. Yeah, but today, because we're running a demo, I think it's probably better to let it run faster. The cool thing about Firstmate and the crewmates is that we can really observe what it's doing just like a normal agent, because it is a normal agent running in a normal Herdr tab, right? So this is better than how sub-agents work in most agent harnesses, where it's really hard for you to look at what is a sub-agent doing. And it's also hard for you to steer a sub-agent, right? You can, here with Firstmate, I can actually come into this sub-agent session, and it's just a normal agent running a PyAgent or Claude code, which I can steer from here. If I see that the sub-agent, this crewmate, is doing something wrong, I can just talk to it here, instead of having to manage everything without the transparency and observability that I have now. So here we can see this market research agent is actually generating a report, right? So it's writing the report, 100 lines. Once it finishes writing this report, it will probably get back to the main agent. So this is the market research. The technical research is still doing a bunch of things. What is it doing? It's printing, this tooling. Okay, it's actually building a backlog. It's trying to make a note of which decisions are open, which decisions I will need to make later on to help it finalize the plan, which is nice. So it's managing the backlog by itself. It's doing some fetch, but okay, yeah, it's fetching Apple documentation. Okay, because I asked for an iOS app probably. So that's nice. It looks like they are on the right track. So most of the time when I work with Firstmate, I actually don't even look at any of the crewmates. That was just like to show you how it works. I just let Firstmate handle all the juggling for me, and I only talk to Firstmate. Since the market research crewmate just finished generating the market research report, it should come back to the Firstmate now. So now we can see Firstmate is working, right? This is probably Firstmate receiving the report from the crewmate, and now Firstmate is trying to rationalize the report and probably will come back to me in a little bit. Okay, yes, we can see Firstmate actually already torn down the market research agent session, right? Because that session is done, the report is generated, so there's no need to keep that agent around. So it closed the tab for me. Typically, before I had Firstmate, that would be something I would be doing. I would create all those terminal tabs, and I will look at which agent is done, which is not, and once it's done, I got the report, I will close the tab myself. But now it's all Firstmate doing that for me, and I don't even need to worry about that. So okay, the market scout finished. It found no current iOS app matching the full brief. Okay. Virtual only money, parent controlled rights, child only. Okay. So that means there is some value for us to build it. Closest references. So these are some apps, right? Some apps that are doing things that are similar. This is Kiddo Bank. It's web only. Okay, so the recommendation, so I typically trust this because it did look like it searched around and looked for similar apps. But different apps have some different strengths, but none of them do exactly what I described, which is a good validation that maybe we're onto something. So recommendation is to prototype Eddie's wallet rather than installing replacement. Okay. I agree. So that's great. The market research told us that we probably should build this. So now I'm going to be waiting for the technical research to figure out how we would go about that, right? So yeah, let's see what kind of technical research reports will come back to us. Now, Firstmate has also closed the technical research agent session as well, and it said it's done. Recommends a native Swift UI iPad app, Supabase auth, okay, Postgres, row level security, immutable server-side ledger, Swift data, local cache. Oh, okay. no real money integrations. I already have some reaction to this. First is that I don't really want to use Supabase. My experience with Supabase is that once you grow, once you have more complexity, it starts to become expensive. But I think for this app, I don't even have a single user yet. I only have Eddie as a single user and myself and my wife. It's not really going to need any kind of scale. We can probably handle that ourselves without paying for a SaaS. What else in this that it's interesting? CloudKit. Okay. Before implementation, identity and pairing. Okay, so there is actually quite a bit of ambiguity here. And what it's telling me right now in this report, I don't really want to read this report.md because it's going to be like just a long wall of text. What I typically do is to ask Firstmate to do this review with me in a better format. Hey Firstmate, I think I'm settled on the market research. That's a good result. I now want to discuss a little bit more about the technical research. So I want to discuss this in Lavish. Can you spin that up? The part I want to discuss the most is the backend, especially the database. Current recommendation is Supabase, but I don't want to jump into the conclusion that we need to pay for a SaaS. The other solution that I like is to get a VPS and just host that ourselves for now, especially when we don't have many users yet. So let's probably put that on the table as well. And if we do that, we need to figure out what is our authentication story. On iOS, I think we have to support Apple sign in. So that's probably going to be the solution for now. I think later on, we will also want to support Google sign-in because that's going to be friendly to a wider set of users. But we are not going to implement that today. Today is just about Eddie having a MVP working for him. So yeah, let's take those into account and come back to me with a technical proposal in Lavish with all the open questions and decisions that I have to make laid out. All right, so Lavish is a tool that I built as well. It's basically using HTML artifacts for better interactions on this kind of planning. You will see that in a bit. The report.md, I think is like, I can actually show you. Let me just copy the path here. Okay, and I will spin up another pane here, and I will just use NeoVim to open up this markdown file. This markdown file, you can see it's like recommendations, what was inspected, blah, 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 blah. Identity. It's so much text. If I really try to read all this, how many lines does it have? 351 lines of text. So I mean, it's a lot of useful information, but I just don't really like reading this long wall of text. And it's also not very easy for me to give feedback on specific parts of it, right? So now I asked Firstmate to use Lavish to give me a good technical plan. So let's see what that will come up with. Firstmate here spun up another crewmate to do that. This is basically how Firstmate works. You will see this over and over again, that Firstmate doesn't try to do things by itself. It will delegate the task to someone else. And if we drill into this crewmate, we will see that the crewmate is doing all the work, which would otherwise block Firstmate doing all these things. So yeah, let's let the crewmate do his job. So far, I think Luna is doing a good job, right? Nothing seems quite off yet. So let's go back to Firstmate and we will just wait here. Yeah, so the backend research is doing its work. What I typically do in this kind of case where I'm waiting for some work to be done is to think about what else can we do. So here, I think the backend is doing some research. Let's think about the front end as well, right? How does the user experience work? So I'll talk to Firstmate. Hey, Firstmate. So while the backend investigation is ongoing, I think we can also do some prototyping on the front end, right? So I want to also review a lavish plan where we show some of the potential user experience, the user journey. Let's probably like just have a bunch of prototypes of the key screens that this app will have. And let me get a feel of how they can work. And I'll give a bunch of feedback on the front-end experience through the lavish artifact once we have it. Right, so now we are kicking off another work stream to get the front end kind of prototyped so we can really start to nail the experience. This is something I do a lot where I try to prototype multiple things at the same time so that we can very quickly make progress on these kind of full stack projects. So now we can see Firstmate has spun up another tab here to do the UX prototypes, and it's coming back to me. So Firstmate is always ready for interaction because it's delegated all the tasks to crewmates. Yeah, so maybe we can think about what else can we do. I actually want to better understand the other similar products, right? Because we have already done the market research. Firstmate, while we wait for those investigations, can we go back to the market research and can you analyze the market research and figure out what are some of the interesting concepts the other products have that maybe we should draw as inspiration and should consider in our product as well? Yeah, so let's get Firstmate to just keep working, don't stop. And the market research probably has some interesting ideas that we should take into account. So yeah, I think here maybe I showed a little bit of my thought process for this kind of new projects. I try to understand the market, try to understand the product requirements, and then figure out the technical aspects in the same time, and try to prototype the front-end experience as well. So let's see, what's the market research suggests? A read-only kids view, yeah, I talk about that as well. Money buckets, what is that? Spend, save, give, goals. Okay. Okay, interesting. A meaningful activity timeline. Okay, that's cool. That I think we should have. Approval requests. Okay. Withdrawals needs parent approval. But this is not real money, so yeah, they can propose actions. Okay, interesting concept. Lessons attached to real actions. Okay, after deposit, explain balance. Before spending, explains trade-offs. When borrowing, explain principle. Okay. This is basically the educational aspect that we talked about. That's definitely something I want to have. A virtual loan simulator. Yep, that's I want to have as well. Flexible allowance rules. Okay, that is good because this is something that we currently do manually. So it's good to have that managed by the app. Gentle gamification. Okay. Gamification is something that's interesting for kids apps because I have mixed feeling about that. I think on one hand it definitely gets the kid more interested, but on the other hand it feels a little bit manipulative to kids. So we'll see what we should avoid. Yeah, heavy ads. Recommended inspiration mix. Privacy, iPad first design, read-only child mode, family ledger, recurring allowance, yep, contextual lessons. Oh yeah, this is actually really good judgments, right? These are the things that I said I wanted to have, and it actually only kept the things that I also thought was gonna be relevant. So that's great. Yeah, I think we'll probably like take this into our product requirements. So that combination, com virtual family ledger, yep. Okay, let's see. I think something just came back, the backend. So here we can see we were previously looking at the tabs, right? Herdr also gave us this agents side panel where we can see all the agents as well. We can see which directory is running, etc., which agent, Pi agent. That becomes really helpful when we have a large number of agents. We can just quickly switch around. Herdr also gave us this keybind where we can just do this. And it will bring up this agent search pane. And we can very quickly jump to different sessions from here as well. We can also search by the title, etc. So basically Herdr, the biggest benefits of Herdr is that it understands agents. Whereas the traditional terminal multiplexers don't really understand agents. They only understand terminals and panes and shells, like those kind of things. Okay, there is a lavish artifact being brought up to me in my browser. So this is when the agent has done some planning and generated a artifact in Lavish, and this is the Lavish editor. It's fixing some layout issues because sometimes when the agent generates artifacts, it will have some UI problems. So it gets fixed before it's presented to me. So okay, backend review. This is the backend review. The short version, buy operational simplicity before buying infrastructure. Okay, I like that. What is it really saying? Recommended hosted Supabase Pro. Okay, interesting. Apple now, Google later, virtual money only. Those sound right. MVP scale, hosted baseline, $25 a month. $25, that's still a lot. Let's see, identity, that's good. Okay, which backend should carry the family ledger? Okay, hosted Supabase, that's the recommendation. The cost is really the thing that I just feel like this is way too much for just 3 users, right? 3 users would not pay for this much. Self-hosted VPS, roughly $30 to $60 a month. Really? No, that's wrong. It shouldn't take this much. But that's a knowledge I have. Self-hosted Supabase, CloudKit, iCloud, Apple Developer Membership. I already have this. So yeah, this is the nice thing about Lavish is that I can give feedback on this. So given that I think this is wrong, I can just say this is wrong. I think I have used Herdr before. I think Herdr offers really low cost VPS that can handle what we need. Why am I typing? I should be talking. Okay, so I'll queue this feedback, and it's queued. So what else? I think it's probably made the recommendation based on this assumption that this is so expensive. I think I probably want to give this feedback as well. $25 to $40 a month is still way too expensive. Right now, we don't really have many users. I don't want to spend this much. I think a low-cost VPS can give us somewhere around $5 a month. Maybe a little bit more, but around that ballpark. I think we should look for options that can allow us to get to that level of cost. All right, queued those feedback. Now, the authority boundary, okay. The phone is a client. Postgres is the referee. Yeah, that's right. That sounds right. So it drew this diagram here. So let's see, full screen. This is something that's also really nice about Lavish is that it can just draw diagrams for me to see. Let's zoom in a little bit. iPad app, local cache, native app sign in, the provider, retry and reconcile with a narrow domain RPCs, going to the membership checks, Postgres. Okay. I think on a high level, this is, yeah, right. This is nothing too controversial. Immutable ledger, audit event. Okay. Do we need audit events, encrypted export? I think it's likely over-engineering a little bit, right? I don't think I will need this. So let's just delete let's maybe give some like feedback. I'll delete this. I'll delete this. I don't think right now we need to worry about auditing and export all those requirements. Let's keep the initial scope minimal. All right, cute feedback about this diagram as well. It's really useful to like look at the architecture here, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't have discovered that there are some of the hidden requirements being baked in to the plan. Apple now, this is right. Yeah, I don't think I need to worry about that. Google later. But yeah, let me look through this. Parent taps native sign-in with Apple. Exchanges this. Okay, so it's writing this plan with the assumption that I will use Supabase, but I will change that. Keep an auth identities table. Yeah, that's right. That's what I want, because that can allow me to allow users to link different accounts, different authentication identities into the same account. Recovery. Manage daily backup, privacy. Okay. Okay. So this, I think I'm not ready to make this decision right now because I have this feedback. I think we need to make sure we understand the cost, the real cost of the VPS options, right? So how should a child sign in? Yeah, it's the parent. This I think is something we can decide. Parent manage profile, but I think the parent should be able to set a pin to gate the access for parent-only actions, right? So that's gonna be good. What recovery promise do we need? Yeah, point in time. This is very expensive. Daily backup, nightly export. Yeah, let's start with that. But I think we'll need to revisit these options once we better understand the cost, the real cost of going with VPS. Okay. All right, sequence. Okay, so let's send this back. Maybe let's revise this whole artifact based on my feedback there. Okay, let's send it back. So the nice thing about Lavish, you can see here, is that I can just interact with the agent interactively here, right? I can cue the choices I make on the decisions. I can give feedback by annotating every element here. I can look at the diagram here as well. So everything is interactive. This is much more friendly than reading a long wall of text and then tell the agent, hey, I want to modify that part of the plan. So this is just a better experience. Let's go back to the terminal. We can see here Firstmate is doing some work. It's probably taking my feedback into account. So yeah, it's doing some search. It's searching for the cloud pricing now, right? It's now anchoring its answer for the cost based on some real data. Key findings. I think it's probably found what we were looking for. What else? Here we can also see follow-up, Firstmate up watcher. This is what's happening here. It's that the UX prototypes crewmate has also done its work already, and it's giving its status update to Firstmate. This is how Firstmate receives those status updates from the crewmates, and because Firstmate is working, it's trying to do this work by itself. It's now stuck, but it's okay because this status updates will just queue in these follow-ups. And once Firstmate is freed up, it will read the status updates from the crewmates to know, okay, there's another task that's also done. If I really don't want to wait, I can always go into the crewmates window and look at what is done. It's completed a report, includes this prototype scope. Okay. Okay. It's basically, it's written in a markdown file, right? So it's not real prototypes. I cannot play with it, but it's defined the scope, which is okay. But let's see. I think I will likely, I think I will ask it to build some real prototypes that I can play with. Yeah, I think I will really want to play with some real prototypes. So once Firstmate is freed up, I'll tell Firstmate to do that. So here I will just tell Firstmate about that. Hey Firstmate, the UX prototypes crewmate has already done its work, but it's written the results in a markdown file. So that is like the scope definition for the prototypes, but it's not real prototypes. I want you to ask for real prototypes that I can play with in a HTML artifact in Lavish. It should be possible without building any iOS code. I just want to get a HTML prototype and focusing on like wireframes, like just the screens, the concepts, the user flow, not real polished UX mocks. So let's do that. Okay, so I queued another message here. Once Firstmate is freed up, it will see all these updates. Firstmate just revised this proposal, so let's see. At this scale, a low-cost Herdr VPS can fit the budget. Okay, it's changed its recommendation now. Let's see. Budget VPS 5.5. That's nice. That I like. Budget first. Ops light. Yeah, so hosted Supabase has lighter ops. Okay, maybe there is some truth to it, but I just think this is too much. I don't want a MVP at this stage to cost me that much. So cost is this. Yeah, I think this is realistic. This is more aligned with my experience. So I think this is right. Backups adds 20%. Okay. Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna go with the VPS. This cost is a lot easier to manage. Okay, decision A. I will go with the VPS. This was already chosen. This was okay. This is applicable to. Okay. Are we sure this is applicable for VPS as well? Yeah, I think at this point I'm already very confident with the whole backend part of this. So I'll just send and end, and this is done. So I come back to Firstmate, and Firstmate is now seeing all the feedback along with the message I queued earlier. So now it's gonna process everything now. Firstmate brought up another Lavish artifact, and this one is interactive wireframes. Parent writes, Eddie understands. Okay, let's see. Journey map, welcome, family setup, pair Eddie, pair, role gate, parents dashboard, child wallet, activity detail, allowance rule, loan and repayment, lesson path. Okay, this all makes sense. These are, except for this pair Eddie, I don't know what pair means. Let's see. Prototype controls, go offline, sync pending changes, reset prototype. Okay. Captain's choice. Where are the prototypes? Oh, okay, playable prototype is here. Okay. Okay, what choices? Try the screens first. Queue feedback. Okay. So let me try the prototype first. Okay. Start here. This is the prototype. A wallet for practice. Virtual money only. Create a family. Okay. Create a family. Set up Eddie's practice wallet. Family name is Chen. Eddie. Unit name. Tokens. Don't use tokens. Points. create family, use this iPad for Eddie. Oh, pairing means another device. Okay, that's actually pretty thoughtful. Because I may be setting this up on my iPhone and Eddie's gonna use his iPad. I'll just assume it's on the same iPad for now. Who's using this iPad? Eddie. Wait, prototype has a pin already. Okay. Eddie is read only. Your balance is here. Virtual balance only. Recent activity, my loan, next lesson. Okay. Recent activity is already here, right? Okay, interesting. Next lesson, borrowing and repaying. Okay. My loan. Why does it already have a loan? Okay, maybe it's mock data, right? So switch person. How do I go to a parent? Okay, here. Unlock parent mode. Okay, so in parent mode, I look at this wallet. I can see the balance. I can add points. Set allowance. Okay. Okay, so there's already a few things that I have reactions to. So let's see whether the questions already covered that. Should Eddie be able to ask for points? No request. Yeah, no request. If Eddie wants to ask for points, he comes to me in person, right? Where should loans live? Card on wallet detail flow, top level. Yeah, this is okay. How should lessons open? Short linear starter path. Yeah, linear is probably better here. Okay, so we made some choices, but I also have some feedback, right? So I think first, when we were setting this up, we selected what kind of currency it is. I actually think this should just be the local currency of the user, like US dollars, because that's what Eddie already uses as his allowance. What else? Set allowance, create loan. I think in the Eddie view, here, next lesson, borrowing and repaying. Yeah, this is weird. The recent activity list is already on the Eddie's wallet view, but there is another button that says recent activity, which is odd. Okay, yeah, just give some feedback for now. But this looks okay. The UI is not really like. The UI is not very pretty or anything, but that's what I asked. I asked for wireframes only, so that we can actually get this prototype very quickly and give this feedback. I will do a UI polish later. So the prototype is probably already okay for now. Just address my feedback, and that's probably okay for now. We don't need to update this prototype. Just take my feedback into account and write down a PRD document as a markdown file in the repo, probably as the README file for now. Okay, so this is ended. Let's come back to Firstmate. So now Firstmate should be able to see all my feedback and know that the next step is to write down the product requirements. So one thing we can see here is that the context window is already getting filled, right? It's now 70% of the 272K. So once this reaches 100%, it will do a compaction automatically. Compaction basically summarizes the current context window into a much more concise summary and then restart the session. So a few things that you want to know about compaction. If you are running GPT models in Codex, Codex has a server-side compaction capability, which works better than any other compaction that we know about. But when you run GPT models in other harnesses like PyAgent, the server-side compaction does not automatically happen because PyAgent by default uses another compaction algorithm implemented by Py. But it's possible to use the server-side compaction from Codex as well. What we can do is here. There's this plugin called Py OpenAI Server Compaction. This is an extension you can install into your PyAgent and will make your PyAgent use the OpenAI server-side compaction for any GPT models that you run in Py. That will perform better for long-running tasks. So when the task is very long, it runs out of context window, it will do the OpenAI's server-side compaction, which is the one that performs the best. So here, Captain, I captured the wireframe feedback. Okay, a worker is now updating this README file. Okay, so once the README file is updated, something I will do is that I will get this repo into a GitHub repo, and I'll open source this. So something I want to do here is, hey, Firstmate, ask the worker to commit the update into the repo, and then get this repo published into my GitHub as a public repo, because we will need to do something else later on. Yeah, so the nice thing about Firstmate is that you can just keep talking to Firstmate about what you want to do, and Firstmate will figure out how to actually get it done. So here, Firstmate will probably like talk to this other agent again to do these follow-up requirements that was not in the initial scope. So the crewmate should receive that message pretty soon. So if we come back here, yeah, you can see there's already steering. Please finish the README PRD update now, committed, and then report. That's the message Firstmate sent to this crewmate. Okay, Firstmate asked me a question. Just use my GitHub account, Kunchen GeoID, and my local GitHub CLI should have already authenticated and have permission to operate on it. Yeah. So yeah, it's good that it's asked because I might have multiple identities logged into my GitHub CLI. So yeah, let's see. One remaining choice before I create the remote. Should it stay local only with a public GitHub mirror? Good question. Now, after we have the GitHub repo, then we switch to a PR-based workflow. And we don't need no mistakes right now. This is still a very early stage product. So let's stay with direct PR. And later on, once we have a MVP built, we will turn on no mistakes to have a stronger guardrail. Okay. So here I talked about no mistakes. No mistakes is another tool I have to have a local validation pipeline for every single code change to just make sure the change is really okay to merge. Because you can see here, I'm not really reviewing the code myself too much. I'm just talking to Firstmate here. So I kind of need the additional set of guardrails to help me build confidence that the code is going to be of reasonable quality. Of course, we will test it end-to-end as well. So here, the reason I asked Firstmate to not use no mistakes right now is because we don't have any code yet, right? All we have is prototypes. So when we are building prototypes, I usually don't really turn on no mistakes for this kind of guardrails. So typically the way to think about when to turn on no mistakes is if this is a code change, you would otherwise have a human review for you, then you should turn on no mistakes. If it's something that you work by yourself and you don't really want to have another human peer review for you, then you wouldn't want to turn on no mistakes either. So Captain, the public GitHub repository is live. Okay, that's nice. But I actually noticed a problem here. Eddie's wallet, the Eddie's spelled wrong. Eddie is with the wrong spelling. It should be EDDIE. That is how Eddie spelled his name. So let's get that corrected, both locally and on GitHub. Yeah, so now we send this correction. So Firstmate is going to figure out how to actually make the correction happen. This is something that I just feel really good about, because otherwise I would be the person who's figuring out, oh, do I rename the local repo? Do I rename the upstream first? How do I make everything corrected? So now Firstmate will just go ahead and do that for me. All right, Captain, the public repository is now renamed. The local, remote, and project description are updated. The PRD worker is correcting every eddy spelling in the README. Nice. This is the thing I really love about Firstmate, is it takes care of things. I don't need to think about what are all the things I have to do to get things like this corrected, right? So the spelling correction is ready. It updates everything. Okay. No CI checks configured yet. Yeah, that's right. We don't have CI. So was this already merged? It updates README. Corrected. Main remains unchanged until I approve the PR. I'll tell Firstmate. You don't need my approval for any PRs right now. Every PR, once you reviewed, it should be okay to merge. We will have stronger approval flow later on once we have a MVP build. Okay. So now Firstmate will probably just get that merged, and then we have a proper repo set up. The reason I had this repo set up is because I want to show you something else. But let's wait for this to be done first. Firstmate said the PR has been merged, so let's take a look. What's in our repo now? The repo is here. And it only has a README file, right? The README file is a PRD document, which is exactly what we asked. Settled decisions, etc., etc. Okay, nice. Problems, target user. Okay, so it basically captured everything we talked about into this document, right? The reason I created this repo and have it capture this PRD is because now I want to work on the product design. So what I will do is that I will use Claude design to help us do that. And the way I go about this is to go to design systems and create a new design system. The reason I create a design system instead of just a design is that once the design system is established, later on we can build more UI components and more screens and change how things work without having to reinvent every single element, and we can ensure that there is going to be consistency from this point on. So we'll create here, and company name, it should be product name, right? So the name is Eddie's Wallet, and we will get the repo URL here, and I'll have it added. Link code, no, there is only a README file, there's no code, nothing. Okay, so here the notes are really important. I'll give it some context. This repo doesn't have any source code right now. We haven't really started building this project. This is going to be an iOS app, and you can read the README file to understand the requirements. So you will need to figure out the main screens, and feel free to challenge any prescribed user experience in there. Use your judgment for what's going to be the best experience. I want this experience to be fun and educational and friendly for kids. And for parents, there's good control and transparency. So, yep. Okay. So Claude design is now working on this design. It's overloaded. Oh no. Let's see whether it can recover. Try with Sonnet. Do we dare going with Sonnet? Let's give Sonnet a try. It's okay. Sonnet is not gonna be able to come up with very clever solutions, but here I also don't think the problem is too complex, right? So I would say give it a try and see whether it can help us get it done. Sonnet is working. Claude design will basically look at the requirements and start to figure everything out. It's a pretty nice experience to figure out a design system, I would say. It will come up with concepts, it will ask me questions, it will listen to my feedback, etc., etc. So I'll show you as we go. But it's gonna take a while. So right now, probably let's go back to Firstmate. So here you can see Firstmate already did a compaction. So now we're back to 9.5%, right? So we have a lot more room to go. The compaction will actually not lose much context. Today I mostly just rely on the auto compaction for GPT models. It works really well. I don't really proactively do compaction. I just let the context window run out and let the auto compaction do its job. So here, while Claude Design is working on the design, we should actually be able to start working on the backend, right? Hey, Firstmate, I'm asking a designer to look at the UI design. In the meantime, can we spin up some work to get the backend built? What do we need to set up? If there's anything that needs me, for example, Apple sign in, etc., etc., let me know. But you should keep going on everything that's not blocked on me. Try to parallelize the work as much as possible. For Herdr, I actually have an API token in my Atomic Vault. So you can use that to manage my Herdr account. The API token I have was called hcloud token, so I'll just tell it. I mentioned something called Atomic Vault. It's something I use to manage my secrets. I will show you here. Atomic Vault. I manage all the secrets in here, and it has a really nice authorization flow. So when the agent needs to access the secret, I will see it, and I can decide, do I approve, do I not approve? And that's really useful for this kind of flow. Yeah, you can see it's already asking for this token, right? So I'll just approve. It shows me it's pi, so it's my agent here. So that is something that is better than environment files. So a lot of people just put secrets in those .inf files, right? And those environment files really can be quite easy to get stolen. What is this doing? Oh, it's calling the API to get the servers, etc. So I'll approve. So yeah, every time the agent needs to use a production secret, I can just see it here. I can see what commands are being proposed to run. Then to use that to decide, is that okay, right? So this is still calling the API. There are some rules I can set to just like blanket allow the agent to do this so that I don't get asked every single time. But I don't want to do that right now. Right now, I actually want to see every single command it's running to access my Herdr account. This Atomic Vault is a pretty new project. Maybe I'll show you here. It's Atomic Vault. It's a open source GitHub project. It's actually built by the legend who created Homebrew, Max Howell. So that's why I trust this project. Although it's a new project, I trust this a lot. And I have been giving feedback to Max as well for how this can be more useful through my own usage. And so far, it's been really helpful. You could see, right, when the agent is accessing the secret, I have a good dialogue where I can review. This is something that just helps me like have confidence that my secrets are not being leaked to an unintended use. I think as we delegate more and more things to agents, this is going to become more and more important. Because otherwise, if you throw these secrets in a file, you really don't know when the agent has already given that away. right? Because we're not looking at every single tool call the agent is making. Maybe the agent has published that secret to another public file or sent that as a part of a public API call that got some other servers to capture the secret. So really having a tight control on where the secrets are going, especially production secrets, is going to be increasingly important. Okay, Firstmate has created 3 parallel work streams. Okay, backend API. Okay, the DB schema, auth boundary. It's asking something. Okay, it's writing a Python script. Yeah, for now, I think everything it needs, I'll just approve because I know it's like it's setting things up. The VPS foundation with backups and deployment automation. I actually think we so something I like to do with VPS is that I want to actually make the deployment declarative. So I typically do that with Terraform, like things like that, to basically document the infrastructure as code. So here, let me maybe ask, hey Firstmate, for the VPS foundation, how are we approaching it? I typically like to use things like OpenTofu to make the infrastructure codified as code. Okay, so let's see what Firstmate will say. So here, there are already 3 parallel agents running, each doing something different. Which parts needs to change, right? Does this agent have to change? Does the VPS agent needs to do some work for what I'm saying? I don't need to worry about that now. I just talk to Firstmate, and Firstmate will worry about that. So this is the really nice thing about working with Firstmate, is that I don't have the mental load to worry about which agent needs to be steered versus not. Okay, yes, Captain, I've redirected the infrastructure work to use OpenTofu. Okay, cool. I like OpenTofu because it's just you will see later. Once it's done, I'll show you the configuration. You will see that the machine and the resources that we need are all declared in a file, which we can audit and we can commit and we can source control, which is really nice. Okay, so 3 agents. Let's just let it do its work, right? The backend is being built. Let's look at frontend. Okay, design system is still being created. So it's doing a lot of work. Typically, Claude Design would show me something for me to look at early on, but this time it doesn't. Maybe it's something Sonnet decided to do. I kind of want to use Fable for this, but let's stay frugal for now. Sonnet, let's keep going and see whether we can get good enough results. Claude Design has shown me Eddie's wallet design system. Okay, let's see. This is a README. This is just like a bunch of descriptions. Where are the designs? Okay, here are the designs. Brand icon. These are the icons, which look reasonable, right? Wordmark. Eddie's wallet. That's okay. Straightforward. Colors. Gold. Okay, golden. My son likes golden. But this looks yeah, let's see, maybe see a real screen. Neutrals. Okay. These colors do look pleasant. So maybe it's okay. Okay, this is not good, right? It's not even centered correctly, so we can give feedback. The text is not even centered. What else? Yeah, maybe just that. We will give other feedback elsewhere. Click through. Okay. Oh, this is a real screen. Okay. Can I actually click? Sign in with Apple. Okay. Okay. So this is the current design. I think it looks too. It doesn't look childish enough, right? I think I will want this to look more clearly a kids app. So edit view. This is the balance. Last updated, recent activity. This all makes sense. Left to repay. Okay. Okay. Other things haven't been built yet. Next lesson, borrow and repay. Oh, okay. Okay, my main feedback is that the overall feeling of this app does not feel like a children's app. So I'll give the feedback here. The overall design of this app does not feel like an app for children, at least not enough. I think we should lean more into having the app feel fun and friendly to children. Yeah, these are all okay. But I think after Claude Design addresses my previous feedback that this is not friendly enough for children, maybe it will make a lot of changes. We can also ask Claude Design to do more here. I think besides what we have here, we also need to design the app icon, right? So give me some options that I can review and decide. Okay, I just gave that as well. So yeah, it's gonna take some time to iterate on what we talked about. Let's let it do its work. And now let's come back to the backend. Here at Captain, the Apple sign-in investigation is complete. Confirm paid. Yep, I do have the. I'll just talk to Firstmate here. Yes, I do have a paid Apple developer membership. Okay, for the steps that you need me to take, can you list out the exact steps and which URLs to go to? Then I will go do that myself. The Herdr setup has also provisioned one dedicated server. Okay, wow, that's fast. Current cost is like this much a month before taxes and traffic. Okay, that's better than $30 to $60, right? Existing servers. Okay. Yeah, it's doing its work. Claude Design. It should have done some iterations. Let's see if there's app icon options. Okay, let's look at our icons first. Here are our icons. So it's using a piggy as the analogy, piggy bank. That's not good. I kind of like the piggy. This is more like a wallet. These are coins. Okay, so reasonable. I think we go with piggy. For icon, for the icon, we will go with the piggy. But make the piggy a little bit bigger in the icon. And make sure to create icon images that I can directly use in my iOS app. That's because iOS app has some like formatting requirements for what the icons need. So okay, that's icon. Thumbnail. Okay, let's go back to the design system. We should review. Yeah, so this text centering is fixed. We should review the click-through. Oh, it's bouncing. Okay, it's a little bit better. It's bouncing now. Sign in. Edit view. Nice job. This is kind of a achievement. But where is the balance? Something left to pay. Okay, let me come back to Firstmate. It said a lot of things. Captain, here are the exact steps. Choose the bundle ID. Okay, yeah, that's good. Confirm my Apple team. Register the app ID. Okay. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to ask Firstmate to do that for me. Hey Firstmate, you can actually use Chrome DevTools Axie to control my browser window. Can you just do all these steps for me in my browser? I have already signed in to my Apple Store Connect. Cool. Let's see whether Firstmate can actually access my Chrome browser. Now let's come back to Claude design. So it needs a refresh to get the prototype reloaded. Sign in with Apple. Let's just confirm Eddie's view has a balance. Okay, yeah, the balance is here. This is much nicer. Has a nice job, has a bouncing piggy. The font is big. Okay, this is good enough, right? So let's just get this built. So what we do now is share. So we will export this whole thing as a zip file. So project archive, yep. Now that it's on my local machine, I can just come back to Firstmate and ask Firstmate to take it over. Hey Firstmate, our design team has come back with a whole design system and mocks. So let's follow that to build our iOS app now. The design system is in a file path. I will give it to you here. It's in downloads, Eddie's wallet design. Please get the design system copied and set up in our repo, and then follow the design system to build our actual UI. The UI should be a iOS app that can be used on both iPhone and iPad. Now that I think of it, I think we should not build the backend in the same repo. The backend probably needs to be a private repo. It's only the front end, the iOS app, will be in the open source repo. Okay, let's give that instruction to Firstmate. Firstmate is busy doing something. I'm actually not sure what he's working on, but I usually don't really care. I just keep dumping my thoughts, what I want to get done, to Firstmate and wait for Firstmate to process everything. I know what Firstmate is doing. It's probably using the browser. So let me actually go to my browser to see if, yeah. This is controlled by Firstmate right now. It's getting into, it's running into some problem with not using a valid name. So these are the things that I would otherwise have to click through myself, but now I'm just letting Firstmate drive my browser. I'm actually okay with that because these are the things that wouldn't have a disastrous outcome. Firstmate is telling me something. Front-end UI work. Okay, I've started that. I can see there's an agent here doing the work. Okay. Yes, confirmed. This name is okay. And this repo will stay private for now. And direct PR workflow is also correct. All right. Here we can see the context window is running out again very soon. GPT models right now, this context window 272K is kind of short. If you're running Claude, it will have 1 million tokens as the context window. But actually, it doesn't make too much difference in practice because how good the compaction is. So whenever it runs out, it just does the compaction and then it keeps going. And earlier we did a compaction and you couldn't tell any difference, right? It knew what I was doing. It could put everything together. Yeah, that's one thing the GPT models are really good at right now. And so far across this whole session, the only place where I felt like Luna was not smart enough was the VPS cost decision, right? That was the only thing it made a recommendation that I didn't agree with because it was based on some wrong data. And I had to give some input to correct it. Otherwise, everything else was running super smoothly here. Firstmate got the backend repo set up as well. But what was it waiting on me? Hey, Firstmate. Did you get everything required on the Apple developer site, or was there anything waiting on me? Not quite, okay. Team ID confirmed, attempted Apple ID did not appear. Oh, I think it was because of the error about the app's name. I think you should try again. You should be able to do this. There was earlier an error that I saw about the app's display name not being valid, something about that. So make sure the display name does not have any characters that are not allowed. Okay, yeah, I think the agent has access to the browser. It may have missed that dialog showing the error. So let's just give it another try. Yeah, let's probably watch it work. Eddie's wallet, okay. And it needs to choose the right capabilities. I think it needs to have Apple sign in. Yep, sign in with Apple. Is it going to edit? No, not needed. Okay. Registered. Okay, now Eddie's wallet is registered. That's good. So it should now be able to do everything it needs, except for like maybe downloading some keys or things like that. And by the way, the reason the agent was able to control everything was because I turned on this. It's called inspect. Wait, was it? Inspect. And there was this thing, remote debugging. This needs to be turned on before the agent can control your existing browser window, or otherwise the agent will be running an isolated browser window which may not have your credentials. So this was turned on before I started the demo. I just leave this on all the time, and each time a new agent session tries to control the browser, it will actually ask for permission. So yeah, that's how the agent was able to control everything for me. I retried successfully. Okay, cool. The app ID now appears. Okay. Something I just thought of. How would we test this end to end, right? I think the shortest path is probably to make sure we test the iOS app in a simulator and points the simulator's app to our real backend so that we can play with the end-to-end experience to see whether we can actually sign in and everything. Okay, Firstmate just came back. It said both reviewed PRs are merged. Backend infrastructure is there. Native iOS and iPad OS app and design system is there. The app passed iPhone simulator validation. Okay, so basically everything's good, but I don't. I need some evidence. Hey, Firstmate, how would we test this end to end? Is our iOS app already connected with our backend? I really doubt it because, yep, no. The iOS app is not connected backend yet. It's a mock. So there's still a lot of work to be done, right? So we should continue with the implementation until we can actually test things end to end, at least in the simulator. In the simulator, I should be able to do an Apple sign in and with my real Apple account and connect to my real backend in the VPS. That is going to be what I consider as the MVP done. So let's figure out what's the implementation plan to get there, and let's try to parallelize as much as possible. All right. Let's see, test on devices. I think eventually I can get to a test flight build, right? I can get a build into Apple's App Store's test flight, and then I can use that on my real phone. But right now, I think just a simulator-based end-to-end testing could be good. And this end-to-end testing basically pushed the Firstmate to figure out there's a lot of gaps still, which we now should be able to fill. But there's quite some work to be done. One thing that I'm really curious about is how well can Luna analyze all this work and the dependency graph and figure out a way to parallelize the work. So let's see what it will do. And I just realized it said deploy a development backend. That implies it's going to be setting up different environments, which I think is going to be an overkill. GPT models, especially the 5.6, has this tendency to over-engineer, so let's correct it. And I don't think we need different environments right now. I think we just need one production environment. We don't need to distinguish development versus production. All right. Yeah, so these are the places where we as the humans still needs to give some judgment to really steer the model towards a direction that we feel is right. For this kind of a new app and the VPS that no one knows about, there is really not much reason to set up different environment tiers. Okay, Firstmate came back with something. Agreed. One production MVP environment. Yep. 2 parallel implementation tracks. iOS integration. Real authentication service. Yep. Simulator configuration using this bundle ID. Yep. Backend deployment. Yep. A private API. Yep. Configure HTTPS. Cool. These seem right. After both are complete, the final MVP gate will be simulator signs in with your real Apple account. The only likely external input is an HTTPS host name. Yes, I actually do have domain names I can control. Okay, so let me tell it. I have a Cloudflare account, and there is another API key. I think it's called Cloudflare _API _key in the same vault. So you should be able to use it. And I have a domain name I control, which is kunchenguid.com. So we can probably create a subdomain that's like eddyswallet.kunchenguid.com to use for this purpose. Yeah. So let's do that. There is a misspelling here, Eddie's wallet. So let's see. The transcription from the Whisper model is usually good enough, but sometimes can make mistakes like that. But I think from all the previous context, the Luna model should be able to figure out it should be the right spelling of Eddie. Yeah, let's see. Cloudflare is where I manage my domains and DNS. So with the API key that I have in the vault, the agent should be able to set everything up. It should be able to like basically add one more DNS record and point to the VPS and then get everything working end to end. So let's see. My overall philosophy right now is to give a lot of permissions and capabilities to the agent. But when it needs to touch the production environment, it needs to get authorization from me, which is why I used the atomic vault. Luna is smart, right? It figured out the typo and it's gonna be using the right domain name. So backend worker is continuing. DNS setup is currently blocked. I can double check here. Cloudflare, where is it? Cloudflare API token. Oh, Cloudflare API token. Okay, I was wrong. Sorry, it was Cloudflare _API _token and all uppercase. Okay. Why did I say sorry? This is something that I find interesting working with agents is that we actually waste a lot of tokens saying things that are not technically necessary, but it makes me feel good by saying it, if you know what I mean. So, okay, it's now accessing this Cloudflare API token. I'll approve. It's trying to probably just get an overview of what's in my account, which is okay for the agent to get. When the agent is using the token this way, it actually never sees the token. The token is passed through as an environment variable, so it can use that to call APIs, but it won't be exposed as plain text. Okay, Captain, that worked. All right. Captain, the backend is now live at this address. Verified, valid, HTTPS. Okay, it got everything done for me. So Apple ID and authentication on the backend is all good. Yeah, so really, it's really only the front end that is missing. And it's talking about future automated deployments. I'm not gonna worry about that today, but the way I typically do that is to do tail scale, which I might be able to show in another video, where I just add all my devices and VPS into a same tail scale subnet. And then they can talk to each other and do deployments that way. I can even add GitHub Actions runners into my tail scale as well. So yeah, there are many options available to automate the deployment. You can see it just did another compaction. I think this was the third compaction that happened. And if you ignore the concept of context window and compaction, this was just a long session, right? We did so much work. Firstmate juggled through a lot of tasks for us, and without really losing much knowledge. So the compaction is really becoming an implementation detail that most people should not worry about anymore. Just let the agent run, let the agent compact when needed, and it will just keep going. Firstmate said it found an issue. The app was pointing to the wrong address, right? This was probably because the app was built while the backend was being hooked up. So the agent working on the front end didn't know this was the right DNS record. So yeah, Firstmate already sent the worker to correct it. So I don't really need to do anything. It just gave me an FYI. This is one of the nicest thing about having Firstmate, right? The Firstmate is juggling all this complexity for me, which I would otherwise have to coordinate between the different agents. We have a simulator brought up. There's an iPhone, there's an iPad. I guess this is either Firstmate doing some end-to-end testing by itself, or it's Firstmate about to tell me to use this to validate things end-to-end. So let's see, which one is it? I'll keep an eye on the terminal window as well. So if Firstmate says something, we'll see it here. Exciting, the app is coming together. Okay, this is the agent doing testing by itself. You can see it already tried to sign in and got this error, right? So this will basically tell the agent, oh, something is wrong. Please go fix it. So I don't need to do anything. This is probably not for me. Something I did notice here is that I think the brand name is Eddie's Wallet, but Eddie should not be used as a replacement for the user, right? So here it said Eddie does not need an account. It should not assume Eddie is the name of the user. So I think that's a bug we need to fix. I'll just tell Firstmate here. So the thing about Firstmate is that you don't have to worry about what it's doing. Just talk to it. Just keep dumping your thoughts and it's fine. I noticed a problem that right now the brand is Eddie's Wallet, which is right. But we should not assume Eddie is the name of the user. So this app may be used by other people whose name is not Eddie. I think we need to use more neutral terms when we are talking about the user. Yep, so I just killed this prompt. And Firstmate will figure out, oh, does it need to stop the current testing, or does it do that after, or does that do that in parallel? So actually, let's see what Firstmate will do. So Firstmate just spun up another crewmate here. The name is like wallet neutral something, which is probably doing what I asked. Yeah, it dispatched the implementation to a parallel agent while it's still doing the testing in parallel. Okay, the neutral language update is completed. Each family's configured child nickname. Okay, cool. And now it's the fourth auto compaction. Firstmate has been doing so much for us, and the compaction really didn't have any visible effect on its performance, right? And this is partially because how good the server-side compaction from OpenAI is. The other thing is because how well Firstmate actually persists important information. A lot of the tasks that were dispatched to crewmates were documented in a file. So everything that got lost from the compaction can be retrieved when the agent actually needs them. The investigation is complete. It found a likely issue where Apple's auth-kit is not returning control, but it hasn't fixed it yet. So let's probably, I think we should ask the agent to do some end-to-end testing, not myself. I think you should try to do some end-to-end testing and see if you can figure out what is the actual bug. Don't ask me unless there is something only I can do. All right. That is something I tell my agents a lot. Don't ask me unless something that's only I can do, because the agents are actually very capable as long as they keep trying. So they just need some encouragement. Something that we can do in the meantime is to understand what was actually built for the backend, right? Because the backend was already deployed, but we never look at the code. So I'm not going to look at the source code either, but I'm going to ask Firstmate, in the meantime, can we do a backend architecture review? I want to focus on what kind of API endpoints were exposed and how are we handling the authentication, and what kind of DB schema have we created? Those are the things that I'm most interested in looking at. Let's review that in Lavish. Cool. Yeah, so this will basically get some work going in the meantime while we are fixing that bug, because I expect the bug fix can take a little while. I try to parallelize this work as much as possible, so Firstmate is always busy, not just sitting around. All right, Lavish is here, and this is the backend architecture review. So let's take a look. Strong core. Boundaries narrow. There is one parent identity, one family. Okay. Where requests and authority flow. Let's take a look at this. Okay, iOS client will use HTTPS to call production, and this gets routed to a Fastify API. And there's the health. There's okay. The issuer. This is where Apple passes all the tokens to us. Session service, bearer, hash, wallet service. Okay, there is a session service, there is a wallet service endpoint. These point to our DB, and we store data in there. Okay, that's pretty straightforward actually. So there's nothing too complex. The thing I was looking for was whether there is any like an over engineering that's not needed. Domain operations, not generic table rights. Okay. Yeah, so these are the API endpoints. These are for Apple authentication, me, family, wallet, child view. These are basically different endpoints to render different screens, which makes sense. Loan. Okay, so different data structures are being exposed through different endpoints, which is also very reasonable. Okay, so those are quite reasonable. Authentication, authorization. Okay, so this is the how the requests flow. Let's take a look. iOS app, identity token, post to the Apple auth endpoint. And there's the Apple's stuff. Yeah, this look pretty typical as well. So let's keep looking. Database shape. Let's take a look. Here. Parent identities. Okay. And there are sessions. Families. Okay. The families are what connects the parents to the children. That's actually pretty good because it can have multiple children in the same family. And each children have wallets. Wallets can have loans. Okay. Ledger entries. Okay, nothing over-engineered. These are also seem pretty reasonable. Let's get back to our Firstmate. Okay. started the architecture review. Yeah, we have already reviewed. It includes this. Captain Fricks is merged. Okay, cool. All right, it's time to end-to-end test this whole thing. The app should be working now. It should have been integrated. So let's sign in. This is Apple sign in. And let's see if we can actually get through. Ooh, it worked. So now we are in the wallet, and this is the parent view. I think this UI, yeah, I'm not sure. I think we'll make some more iterations to make it more direct to the kids view and make the parent view a little bit more hidden. So let's see if we can like add $10. Review, add, okay, recorded. Now the balance is $10, and in Eddie's view, he can see $10. Cool. So this is, it seems to actually work. If I sign out and sign back in using my account, I should see the same data because the data is stored in the cloud. Let's see. Yep. I got back the data. So the user ID and everything hitting our server backend, getting the data fetched, everything is working end-to-end correctly now. What I'll do is that I'll get this app built into our test flight, and then I'll install this on my son's iPad, and we can actually start to use this for real tomorrow, which is super exciting. So today we have built this real app, full stack app from scratch using GPT 5.6 Luna, and we couldn't even use Opus for Claude design. We used Sonnet, and it worked out pretty well, right? I hope this video gave you a real example of how I use my agentic engineering workflow to get a real project done end to end. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.